Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? Let's see here. Who do we got? Jason's in here. Hey, Jason, good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see here. I got doing things to get set up as I go. David's here. Hi, David. How's everything? Merry Metal Christmas to you. I hope everybody's doing good. I'm running a little slow today. I was doing some late night podcasting last night. End of the year, no matter how hard you plan, it doesn't work out. I'm still up till God knows when getting the podcast out last night. So, and both Jason and David, I hope you guys got to listen to it. Your topics, went over the topics that you guys talked about. In fact, we are going to be doing full episodes on those. So this is the end of the year show. I have planned. I bought a Santa hat to wear, and bought a Santa hat to wear. It didn't fit. Unfortunately, it must have been a kid's Santa hat. That's what happens when you go to the dollar store. You just grab what they got. Bam, didn't work out. So, but I am wearing red. Robin Trower red today. Jason says, just got a crummy Christmas present. Uh-oh. I don't know about that. Jason says, I did thank you. Oh, that's cool. That's cool, man. Yeah. I've kind of backed off the past year, past 2 weeks, looking back at this year, seeing what worked and what didn't, what changes I'm going to make for next year. And when we get some more folks in here, we're going to kind of do that together this year. Let's see here. Chris is here. Hi, Chris. How you doing? Chris says, hi, all. David says, got my ugly Christmas sweater ready to go. Nice. What is it? What do you got? Is it Buddy the Elf? I've been really jealous of the Buddy the Elf Christmas sweaters. Don't have any. Every time I see one, I'm like, I've been answering the phone. Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color? Right? What's your favorite Christmas movies? I think Christmas movies are about to start for us. We haven't started with them yet. I do know we have a tradition on New Year's Eve. We watch Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? It's one of our favorite movies. It happens every year. Let's see here. Kevin's here. Hi, Kevin. How you doing? Great to see you. Let's see here. Dean's here. Hey, Dean. Great to see you. David says, it's the Christmas goat. Okay. Chris says, I like the Marshall Christmas jumpers maybe next year. Yeah. I like, not that it has anything to do with the Christmas stuff, but have you seen the Marshall mini refrigerators that look like a Marshall amp? I'm always very tempted to do that. Jason says Gremlins, right. Gremlins, Die Hard. That's a good one too. I think we're going to do Die Hard this year too. I've been thinking about that. I haven't seen Gremlins in a long time too. That's a good idea. Let's see. Kevin says I'm doing. Yeah, sorry about that, man. I hope let's have some more fun. Let's see what we can do. We're gonna do some talking about what happened in the year, and do a little planning in just a second. David says favorite Christmas movies are Elf and Jim Carrey's The Grinch. Yes, Elf always works. Elf. For my family, whenever he starts picking the gum off of the railings and popping, shooting for ducks with gum, gets us every time. Chris, Lampoons, yeah, Lampoons is always good. Let's see here. Jim Carrey's The Grinch. I haven't seen that one in a long time. That might be a good one too. So how'd you do this year? We've got part of the group in here. We got a good core of the group. We'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to share this screen while I'm thinking about it. We got some more movies coming in here too. Okay. We'll go back to that in just a second. Kevin says Home Alone. Home Alone always works. Yeah. Christmas Story. Back when we had cable, it was on for 2 weeks before Christmas. And we'd just watch it for nothing better to do over and over again. Now we had to actually buy it. So we'll be doing Christmas Story as well. Okay. So let's get into it. Each one of you here, Kevin, Chris, David, Jason, Dean. Let's see. I think that's who's been chatting so far. Let's talk about, it can be personally, it can be your family. We're talking about wins right now. We're talking about wins. Okay. How was this year for you? Do you feel like, let's talk about guitar. You feel like, you're better off than you were in January of this year? Do you feel, what were the big obstacles that you went through? What are some things that you didn't realize you were going to get better at, or you didn't even realize you had an interest in that gave you pushed you a little bit forward here? I'll do mine as well. Let's get this. There we go. This is workflowy. I use this a lot. I know I mention it a lot, and through the podcasts and everything that I have an ongoing battle with being disorganized. I am a type B person in a type A life. I would play guitar all day if I could and just push everything else off. So to keep me moving forward and to go into the life that I've planned, I have to stay organized, and workflowy does everything. I keep track of everything in there. If you haven't used it, most people overlook it because it's just text, but it's an outliner. You can keep lists, plan for the future. It actually will load. You can keep video, links. It'll put YouTube videos in there. Now they're doing colors and all sorts of stuff. It's really awesome. I have everything in my workflow account. It's free to use up to a point. Up to a point. And let's see, I pay for it every year. It's fantastic. Let's see here. Jason says, I had an awesome year guitar wise. I learned more this year than in 20 years. That's the best. That's the best. Fantastic, Jason. I didn't learn more in my own playing. I didn't learn more this year than in 20 years. But in my playing, let's see, my wins this year is I was rediscovering. Rediscovering the things that I find fun about music. It's been, I've really gotten to the point where I was considered a blues guitar player. That's I was a rock player, went to school for jazz, and then blues is where my work was. So I've been out of it for long enough that finally this year I started, instead of doing what I thought I should be doing, I started doing what I wanted to do. And I've been getting back into my gear, changing up a lot of things, and starting to play a lot of the music that I really enjoy. So I'm enjoying the guitar a lot more. And that's a huge win for me. So I'm enjoying things more. And that's lighting a fire. I'm starting to plan. And we're talking about planning in just a second. Let's see here. Dean says, much better, starting to understand patterns, and et cetera, et cetera. Love it. That's great. That's fantastic. That's those light bulb moments are, you after you've been playing for a long time, those light bulb moments get farther and farther apart. And so when you get them, they're very, very precious. So that's awesome. That's awesome, man. Chris Sword says, I reckon I am better, right? I feel better equipped. Yeah, I know you're better. I can hear it. So, from last year to this year, from the beginning of this year to the end of this year. So, good stuff. When are we getting together again? Let me know, Chris. Let's see here. Kevin says, I've really fallen in love with Larry Carlton. I had a whole Larry Carlton phase to me too. It's really different. Maybe not be the style that a lot of people tend to listen to his playing, but if you can get past that, the trappings of maybe a certain style of music, and listen to the guitar playing, and then the thought process of how to come up with these ideas. He comes from left field, and everything's based around either blues or chord tone shapes, arpeggios. And then you'll hear him play a little bit you'll hear him play something like jazz or something like fusion or something like blues. And then it goes to something you've never heard before. It's really, really great player. If you are to that point, some people like to stay in their box. This is the style of music that I like, and that's really all I want to do. And that's awesome. That's great. But sometimes in a guitar player's journey, you start to look around and you start to think, is there a little bit more? Can I learn something else? Can I do something that keeps me fresh? And if you're at that point, I really recommend listening to some Larry Carlton stuff, especially the album Last Night, Nite. It's a live album. And you can hear, it's really him burning, and he's not burning metal music. He's burning on any style of music that he plays. It's really, if you really enjoy guitar playing, I recommend that. So Kevin's been listening to him a ton, and let me go back here. And I feel like the type of music I listen to has grown quite a bit this year. That's great. That's great. David says, he's much better off. My understanding of the fretboard is much improved. Great. Yet definitely your chords are better. Your rhythm's better. There's just little tiny things which you're in good shape moving forward. Goals are getting more fluid, moving around the fretboard and getting my scales under the fingers. Awesome, man. David's had a big influence on me because I got to say, I was as big a Joe Satriani fan as David is. Then I kind of went and did other things, and he likes the style of music he likes, and it made me think. I'm looking back and I'm watching Steve Vai stuff, and I should have all the live DVDs, the G3s, and all that stuff. So awesome, man, awesome. Chris says I got into more stuff as well. Expanded influence. Awesome. Yeah, I'm kind of in where I am right now, my playing. I've been there, looking at all sorts of stuff. And I'm at one of those times where I'm going the opposite direction. I'm going back. What was it? What was it that makes me smile? What was it? What are the things that I think are fun? Okay, so there's our wins. I don't know who that is there. We won't put that up in the comments. Let's move on to losses. Okay. What are the losses this year? What do you feel? And they may not even be a loss. What do you feel like you could have done better at? What are some things that you thought were going to go really well and didn't go as well as planned? For me, it's time with the guitar. For me, it's time with everything. I'm in one of these strange places, have been this whole year, where I'm always kind of under the gun. I'm always trying to clear time away to do the things that I need to do. I don't have a whole lot of time to think. And it has this, and we're talking about guitar, I haven't had enough time to play. So, this end of the year for me, and I'm trying to get it for a lot of you, is to really reflect and plan. Reflect and plan. Make changes. I'm making changes. You will see the changes that I'm making in the beginning of the year. Things are going to be different. Look back and see what worked, and look back and see what didn't work. Okay, that's the important thing. Find out what's not working and make some changes. Don't be afraid to do that. Don't just keep doing the same old thing. Make some changes. Let's see here. Dean says, could have learned more songs. Yeah, I could have done that as well. There's a lot of songs that I would like to do. A lot of the songs that I want to do take some time, and I didn't have the time to do it, so I just blew them off, But talking a lot about set lists this year, I went back and I actually went back and found when I had Lee Anderson Band, I had a big binder full of those songs, and it was neat going back, and I was playing like Hit the Ground Running with Johnny Lang, playing like just songs I hadn't even heard in a long time, and I was playing them out. It was neat. It was neat to do that. But yeah, finding the time for playing songs. Let's see here. Jason says, ready to be sad. I am. I was just diagnosed with carpal tunnel 45 minutes ago. Well, don't let that get you down. I've played with a lot of people who had it. Is it in both, or is it just in one? I had a teacher in college who had it in both wrists. I had a bass player, had it in both. And it didn't, it was very, they were only down for a small amount of time. So, Jason said 1 for now. Okay. Don't let that get you down. That's, make some changes once you're healed, whatever. I don't know what route they're going, with this, start to make some changes. Maybe lighter strings, maybe get your guitar neck up far, but pay special attention to where the pain. I know that heavier strings and clamping down too hard, and also once you're able to play again, I don't know if how bad it is if they've taken you off of playing or not, but finding out how light can you hold the strings down and they still sound clear. A lot of people really clamp down, and getting the guitar in a place where you're not, like this and like this, making some adjustments. Sorry to hear that, man, but don't let it get you down. That's something that you can definitely get past. Chris says, losses. Didn't record myself on social media as much. Had less time than the previous year too. Yeah, I had a lot less time too. I understand. My social media this year sucked. It was terrible. I basically had the automated things that said I couldn't get to. Well, basically what happened to me is the academy opened up, and I have all this stuff I need to do for the academy, but I have all these things that I do throughout the week, and I don't have the time to do all of those. So I'm making some changes so that I can get the academy where it needs to go, so I can start advertising it myself. But it was kind of like everything came at me, and I was just kind of stuck. I only had time to do a little bit here, a little bit there, and nothing got done. So I didn't have time to do any social media as well, which I understand. And he said losses, didn't get to play out anywhere this year. Well, I've found I started playing at 12 and playing out at 15. So since I was 15 to now, which I'm 51, I have been a gigging guitar player. Now, that's kind of odd saying that because I haven't been playing out lately. But you start to see over time, a gigging guitar player has periods of intense playing all the time and then downtime, and uptime and downtime. It's a cycle that goes on and on. So I'm setting. Well, we'll see when we get here. I've got. I'm going to spend January with my project time. I'm going to separate out a certain time for projects because a lot of times, like right now, I've got that's over there. I can't get it. I've got my white Strat, and I'm going to be changing that. Instead of getting a new guitar, I'm going to get humbuckers for it. I'm going to get one of those Vega trims. I'm going to turn it into the guitar that I'm wanting, and that started to take away from some other things I needed to do. So I'm going to have dedicated project time. And January, my project time is getting my gear ready to play out. So February will be like rehearsal time. And then March will be putting things together. So I've got a couple 3-month plan to get ready to be playing out. And hopefully the venues will be there when it's time. If not, maybe I'll make my own venue. You never know. Had always thought about that too. Let's see. Jason said 1 for now and fretting hand. Sorry to hear that, man. Kevin says, I was doing really well with practice the first part of the year when I was working at home. Right. But since then, I've been back in the office. It's really cut into my guitar time. Practice has suffered. Yes. I think that's, I think last year we were all dealing with the working at home and the differences and everything, and dealing with, well, what do we do with all this extra time? And then this year they took it away. We didn't want it when we got it. And then when we had it, we got used to it, kind of liked it, and now they took it away from us, right? So, yeah. Time's the big thing. That's, for me, in-laws is time. Let's see here. David says, let's go back to this. David says, need better ways to practice and more structure. That's coming, man. So for those of you in VIP and for those of you who are moderately interested, I've been taking 2 days so far. Still not finished yet. Going back and finding out what was the most downloaded episodes. What was the most watched videos? Most watched videos in YouTube for me. YouTube doesn't like me very much, but I'm going to change that this year. Is practice space setup. Wow. I always look at that and go, I guess that's what they want me to do. But also most of the audio podcasts, anytime I do something with practice, that gets a lot of downloads. So one of my main things is going to be practicing this year. Another thing that, and I'll go over in depth with this with the VIPs probably this coming week, once I get to finish everything, is the Spark amp. When I did stuff with the Spark amp, bam, down, views. And so I'm going to be there's going to be a lot of stuff, David, I think is going to help you in the new year. So, okay. So there's our losses. We got our wins. Here, let's turn the wins. Oh no, let's just complete the wins. We've done our losses. Okay, let's talk about goals and plans for the future. So I would like for you to let me know something. I have a question. What does mastery of the guitar mean to you? Where would you be if you felt that you had mastered the guitar? To me, mastery of the guitar is an absence of fear. That's, to me, when I stopped being afraid of playing the guitar. Tell you what I mean about that in just a second. When I stop being afraid, that's when I feel like I had mastered the guitar. So, mastering the guitar, fear. When I used to get up and play in front of an audience, I was nervous. The nervous never goes away. That's good. That kind of puts you in the frame of mind. But thinking I'm going to fail, or what if I can't do this? What if someone calls a song I don't know how to play? And when I was to the point where I could pick up the guitar and no matter who I was playing with or what kind of song they called, that I could do something, that I could hang. That's when I feel like I've mastered the guitar. They talk about 10,000 hours mastery of the guitar. That's subjective, playing things that, so I knew that I could play, go to a gig, play. Someone called a song I didn't know. I could make my way through that song just by listening and paying attention to what other people are doing. And I could play something that was listenable no matter where I was in there. So that's when I thought that happened probably in my late 20s. And it stopped being a nervous chore. Learning these songs. I got to know these songs. If I don't do this, I'm going to mess up. And realizing that if I was playing gigs, if I had 4 gigs, one of them was probably going to not be very good. And the 3 other ones were going to be fantastic. And not focusing on those ones. It just happens. You're not always on every night. But I at least held my own on those. That's what let's see here. Jason says, playing along with any song on demand by ear or sight. Yeah. But being free. I think that's what it is. Being free on the guitar. The nature of the guitar, the way it's set up, is not holding you back anymore. That's mastery on the guitar to me. Then you could say, well, what if you were a classical musician? What's mastering the guitar? Well, of course, that's cut and dry. Being able to play difficult pieces and play them well all the time. But as far as us, popular music, without that kind of structure, that I agree with Jason. That's what Chris said, goals, finding a playing situation that works around my work patterns. That's a good goal. Me too. Scheduling. What I've learned in this year is that I've got what I wanted, and now I don't have time to do the things I need to do with it. So management, self-management, and scheduling is the most important thing for me. I have to do that or else I'm not going to go forward. Let's see here. David says, mastery of guitar to me would be being able to play the music I love and understanding why it works. You are on your way to doing that. Definitely. And Kevin says, I think for me, it would be the ability to sit in and play with other musicians in any setting and be able to sound good, whatever the genre, with confidence. And and that's along the lines about how I feel as well. What I want to do, if you notice, I put mastery right here, and it's under what? Oh, wrong one. Here we go. It's under goals and plans for the future. I would like each of you to put mastering the guitar as a goal for the future, as something that is going to be accomplished. Okay, you know what it is now. So most people say master the guitar, and they don't really know what that means. It just means, oh, I'm good. I feel like I'm good. We're putting this into words. See what we've done here. Jason said, playing along with any song on demand by ear or sight. David says, being able to play the music I love and understanding why it works. Kevin says, I think for me it would be the ability to sit in and play with other musicians in any setting, be able to sound good, whatever. These are all great. Chris is in. He says, mastery, we talked about this, Lee, being able to be dropped into a situation with new musicians and be able to hold your own and perform within minutes. Goal, right? This is our goal. This is our goal. How about for this year? How about for this time next year? Mastering the guitar. And what does it mean? It means exactly what you guys said right there. That's what mastery means to you. Let's work towards that this year. My mastery is going to be mastering this internet thing and being able to do well enough at it to clear up time that I can play more guitar and spend more time with you. We'll talk about that before we go too. So mastery, right? Plans for the future. So I know I have this running list in the few brain cells that are working back here that they're holding on to the things I want to do, right? They're in there and you know, I get distracted. Shiny stuff. Oh, I want to do that. Oh, I want to do that. But I'm holding dear to these things. And at some point you realize, well, they're doing me no good right now. They're just sitting back there. I want to do this. I want to do that. These are things I want to do. They're doing me no good, and they're wasting energy. I'm putting energy into holding these ideas that sound good to me. Man, I would love to be able to do that. Ooh, this idea sounds good. I want to get those thoughts out of here, and I want to put them in some sort of a schedule. Okay, I already talked about having a project schedule. Projects are fun. Right now, you know, I've been talking a lot about gear, primarily because I know the style of music that I want to play is changing. So I want to make sure that I have what I need to play that style of music. But it's a project. I'm experimenting with stuff. I'm experimenting with pickups. Right now, in the white Strat, I have switched to 9s. I'm even going lighter in strings. I've got the area, I think it's 58 and 61, DiMarzio Strat, noise canceling, single coil type pickups, and then a Duncan JB Jr. in the bridge. And not so sure I'm going to stick with that. I think I may be going to route that guitar out and go full humbuckers on both of that and get a trim that works, because I'm tired of my Strats of avoiding the trims, because as soon as I use them, they completely go out of tune. And people say, oh, it's if you get the nut together and if you get locking tuners, that'll help. No, it doesn't. It's in the bridge. There's a problem in that bridge that makes it go out of tune when you use it. For my guitars, I've tried filing the nuts different ways. We talked about that with Jason the other time. 3-in-1 oil. Guess what, Jason? 3-in-1 oil didn't change anything for me. I also found my tube. I've got a tube of some sort of guitar. Rene Martinez, who was Stevie Ray Vaughan's tech, and I think he's John Mayer's now. I sent a guitar neck to him, about 20 years ago to refret. This is before I was doing that. And I bought some of that stuff. It's gone bad now, but I'm going to try. It doesn't look good. It looks like it's spoiled. Had it for too long. But, these are projects. So we're going to have a project schedule. We're going to have, I'm going to have a guitar schedule guitar practice. That will be a daily, a week. And I kind of skip the months. I kind of go in quarters. What I usually a month, if I'm kind of working on something, I blow right past that. and go into quarters. So we're going to start thinking about that. When you practice daily, what are you going to work on? What are the schedules? I like to, you all know how I like to break down guitar practice. What are you going to practice this week? And then what are you going to practice in the quarters? If you notice in the academy, they're 12-week levels, right? So to me, that's about time to move on after that, to really focus in on something. So we're going to get our scheduling together, project guitar practice. And then the other thing, which you wouldn't think about in music, is family. We all have family. We have issues. Some of us are in the thick of it. Some of us are past the grand time, family time that takes a lot of things away, but it's also very important. What is your time with the family? You've got to have certain time with the family. Basically what I'm trying to get at is it doesn't need to be a war. Oh, I missed practice today because I got to go do something that I was asked to do, and it doesn't have to be that struggle there. So getting an idea of of the things you're going to do with your family and how that moves forward and how that you can fit that with guitar and also be flexible. I'm just looking back at the names here. I know David's kids are grown, right? Chris has got kids at home. I've got kid at home. Kevin's got a kid at home. Being a dad, Dean's kids are grown. We all have a little bit different situations, but for the folks whose kids are grown, you've been there, right? I know a friend of mine plays bass. He's a chiropractor back in the city that I worked in, and I used to teach his son guitar lessons, and he quit playing. And he's a gigging guitar player. He quit playing for 15 years to focus on his family and then went back to it when they were grown, But being flexible about that, it really is an issue, especially if you get negative feedback from your family about your playing. That can be an issue. Not a fun one either. Not a fun issue to deal with. So being able to be flexible with your time. For me, I like to have in my regular daily schedule, I like to do the same thing every day. This time I do this and then this, and it doesn't work out that way. And for the new year, for my scheduling, I'm going to be doing, some days I'll be able to work on these things in the morning. Other days I won't be able to, so I'm going to have to by the day schedule and switch my plans around to be able to have some time to play guitar and to be able to do these things there. Let's see here. David says, goals for 2022 are to get the scales working so I can improv super weak and be able to play 2 Satriani songs. That's great. That's a doable goal. That can be accomplished. We haven't really gotten into phrasing, just a little bit, but got with David into phrasing and all of those things that make improv a little bit easier. There are tricks to it. I love Warren Haynes. I love the way he described improv. He's like, I know 10 licks and I just change them. And he changes, you listen to him play, it sounds like he's coming up with stuff here or there. He has certain licks he plays and he'll just, today I'm going to play this one backwards, or here, this one, I like the way it's going to go into there. I'm going to hold on this note for a while. And these little tiny changes you do to licks totally change them, We're going to get into all that with your improv here. So your scales are looking good. We're at the right part for that. Chris said, I just ordered a Graph Tech nut from my Kramer. That's what I think I'm going for too. Though in trying to get this one, I'm looking at the guitar to get this one to stay in tune. I did some nut work to it. I filed down one of them a little too low. I'm gonna see if I can build it up, but I'm probably gonna replace that when I do the bridge and everything like that. Jason says, I play for my girlfriend sometimes to make up for not practicing when she's around. You got it. Chris says, my family is used to my guitar drone. I just get asked to close the door. That's good. And if you can practice with headphones, it's not always the most fun thing to do. But, electric guitar with headphones, if you're in the other room, that works. I like to crank it up myself. Dean says, I've been able to practice at the same time each evening. That's gold. That's awesome. You're in a good place. Jason says, I've also crowdsourced a set list and have one tune pretty much down. Awesome. That's great. That's great. Well, there we are. It's really three things. We got wins, losses, and goals and plans for the future. This is all being intentional. Not blowing whichever way life, the wind, going the way the wind blows, which is what most people do. They sit down, they go on YouTube, I'll learn this today, and before you know it, they're, right, stuck. I love teaching guitar. I love helping people move forward. But when I try to help somebody with their goals, I do it from questions that I ask them. I don't try to make someone sound like me. I don't go, Dean here, you don't sound like me, so let's do the things that are going to make you sound like me. I don't care about that, right? I want to know what kind of music that Dean likes. I want to know what would be exciting for him to learn. And then when I know that, I know, here are the things that we need to get Dean to that point and make Dean sound the best Dean guitar player that he can be. That's what we're doing here. And that has a lot of you in it. And when you really nail down what you like about the guitar, what you want to do, what time that you're going to put into it, what the process that you're going to learn these things, which comes first, next. That's success. That's where success comes from. Not going on your phone and going, what am I going to learn today? Oh, that looks like fun. That's where we get into all these problems. So end of year. This was a good year. I'm going to say it. It was a good year. Everyone here had positive things to say. They had wins. Their losses. Not anything that's stops you in your tracks. I think Jason said, I had an awesome year guitar-wise. I learned more this year in 20 years. But he's having a setback. Jason, have they told you can't play for a certain amount of time until they take care of it? What's the current the current situation and looking for the future with the carpal tunnel? Let's see here. Okay, I'm just looking back right now. I want to look at the losses. Chris's were not being able to record himself, very much less time. And so Jason's losses are having a setback. Dean could have learned more songs. But you know what? Dean, there's other things that we're bringing that were important, and you just kind of focused on the things. You had a role going and you're focusing on that. We can always bring songs back in. That's not going to be a problem. Okay. End of year. So I'm going to be taking a break from the live streams in January. one of the things that I've found is I have really, really important stuff that is holding me back and that I need to focus on for probably a few weeks. In live streams, we have a great group here. It's usually about 7 to 10 people. When I do come back to doing the live streams, I'm going to do them a lot more than this and try to bring in a lot more people. I can't get the time to do it. And the time that's taking me away from the live streams is that I have an enormous amount of stuff that I need to get to get the academy going and get the coaching. There's going to be some new ways about coaching that's going to come out in the next week or two. I need to get all those things set. And once those are there, they're getting successful, we're going to come back to the live streams more than we was before. I need a clear time to do this properly. We may do just here a little bit, might do some live streams in the VIP section when I can, but for a short time, I need to focus on moving ahead. So these live streams are going to take a little break at the beginning of the year so I can get everything done. And when they come back, they're going to be a lot more. I didn't like the pandemic, but when the pandemic first started, I would come on a little bit every day and we were building and building and building and building. And then when everybody went back to work, I got busy too. Chris said, okay, let's see here. Jason says, just recommended for surgery and then a possible month off. Definitely be asking what the future is for guitar. It should be, not knowing your situation. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. But from the people that I've known personally who have gone through it, they were back and it didn't take too long. Didn't take too long at all. Chris asks, what are your big wins this year, Lee? As far as the here, let me remove this. I'm going to look here and I'll tell you exactly what I found. I got to make this a little bit bigger. All right, so I'm trying to find what I wrote down. Compare last year, acknowledge. Okay, so the big wins as far as the podcast and all of those things, we passed a while ago. We passed 500,000 downloads. That was a big win this year. The Academy opened this year. That was a big win for this year. The YouTube, I was trying to get over 1,000 subscribers. That happened this year. So some really, as far as this, what I'm doing here, there's some really important things happened this year. But what can be done better? Time management was rough. Coaching definitely could be done better. I've got some big issues with coaching, so that's something that I'm working on right now. And getting all of the so basically getting 2 more people. What we have is the podcast gets to we've had I don't know, I get between 4,000 and 6,000 downloads a month, which is awesome for a podcast. So it's doing very well, but there's more that needs to be done. So as far as guitar, the big wins, like I said, the big wins were I'm enjoying guitar again. I'm really enjoying it for myself. So that's fun. Chris says, enjoying the VIP podcast and section. VIP is a big, that podcast is a big win too. I'm treating the VIP podcast kind of like an investors meeting. People who help me, even if it's just $3, who help me, are investing in what I'm doing. and it's great. I just turn it on and I talk about what I'm doing at the time. So it's a real behind the scenes kind of thing. And it's a podcast. I love podcasting. So that was a big win for me too. Kevin says, thanks for your help this year, Lee. I wouldn't be accomplishing my guitar goals without your help. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you being here. And I love every time you send a video in. It's awesome. I'll be in touch over the next couple weeks. We are having this, as far as coaching, this Friday is off and next Monday is off. So I won't be doing any videos that week, but I'll be in touch with everyone after that. I got some neat ideas. Chris has already experienced some of the changes that I'm making in coaching, so it should be fun. Okay, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and call it and start getting ready for Christmas. We've got a lot of stuff going on, and I've got a few things I've got to do today. So I'm going to go ahead and call it. And it was great hanging out with you. Thank you for sharing your wins and losses with me today. And I wish the best for you for this week. Everybody stay cool. Don't let the family get to you this week, right? Just be kind to everyone and roll with it. Okay? All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'll be in touch when I get back to doing the live streams again after I get all the business stuff set up. We're gonna continue with the live streams, and we'll do a lot more of them as well. I just need a little bit of time there. So I'll be in touch with everyone through all the different other channels. And let's see here. Let's see. David says, ditto on Kevin's comments. Never thought I'd be able to play guitar. Now I do. Awesome. That's awesome. Chris says, have a great Christmas, Lee and family. You too. And all ye faithful guitarists. That's right. Jason says, have a great day, everyone. And David says, Merry Christmas. All right, everybody. I'll see you soon, okay? Bye-bye.